All right, welcome to this week's Deal Structure Sunday. Now, I like to always say to you guys, I'm going to twist it up here. And in this week in particular, I'm not going to show you a whiteboard. I'm not going to give you a deal. What I want to talk about is proper follow-up. And here's why. If we're not following up, we're leaving a ton of money on the table. And I'll tell you how this was sparked. We have office visits here in our office in Rhode Island. And the office visits are for associates. And they come in, they see what Nick does with buyers live and in person. They sit with Steve Murnick, one of the high six and certified coaches, and they do live calls. And they made appointments just last week. But 2 out of the 3 people visiting said, boy, I'm not following up. I'm so laser focused on leads, I'm not following up. And we get stuck in this because we always talk metrics and get your dials in and make sure you have your contacts. The importance of follow-up is enormous, and I wanted to put it in as a deal structure Sunday, and even as a Q&A. I'm going to throw it in there eventually too. And the reason is, if we're not doing that as I open this up, we're losing. We're not leaving money on the table. We are losing money. Here are some ideas on follow-up for you, okay? You do what fits for you, but I'm going to tell you what has worked phenomenally well for us, and I'm going on my 32nd year here. When we set up to prospect, in the morning is usually when I do it, but whenever your time, if you're in a JOB, it might be during your lunch break. I suggest you do 50-minute sessions. 50-minute sessions where you're doing outgoing calls. Okay, that's what we teach our associates to do. Now, during that 50 minutes, you do not take incoming calls. Even if you called an expired listing and they're calling you back, you do not take that call, because your mindset, your energy, your focus is on finding sellers you can help. And when the call comes in, you're frazzled, you break your flow up, you don't even know which one that is calling back. You want them to go into your voicemail, and you want to hear that voicemail, you want to hear their tone. When you're doing your follow-ups, then you'll call that person back, because you're in control. You heard the message, you got the sheet in front of you, now you're gonna be in control, laser focused on the other section of the business, which is follow-up. Now, when should you do your follow-up? In my opinion, I would, before your 50-minute session of prospecting, because I used to do 2 or 3 of those in the morning when I first started, because I had no business. So before your 50-minute session, do at least a 20-minute session or 30, whatever you have for backlog, with follow-up. Follow-up from what? Follow-up from people that were called last week, yesterday, depends on the urgency, okay? It gets you warmed up. They're follow-up calls, so they're easier. And it gets the blood moving, right? You put your body in action, and then the energy follows. So that's one suggestion. Second suggestion, I would say, I don't get too caught up in CRMs, guys, and automation and all that. A lot of our team members do, and they do a phenomenal job with it. If you're an associate, you know in Slack who to go to for help with that and the automation. There's some phenomenal things going on. I have a simple folder on my desk to this day that I dial out of. And after I talk to them, I make a note and I put it on the bottom of the stack. Now, every 60 to 90 days, the leads we have built up, I would suggest that you send them an email. A subject line that has worked for us extremely well is, have you given up on this project? It gets the email open, and then you just want to know if they already sold or not. These are for the older leads that have been sitting, right? They're not the active follow-up. These are older leads. So it's a little bit of a drip. Now, when you're calling for follow-up, I suggest you don't call with the same thing over and over and over again. Hey, just checking back with you. Hey, just checking back with you. Hey, following up on seeing if you're selling. Hey, following up if you want, see if we can buy. Call with a different reason every time. What are different reasons? You make them up as you go, but there could be market conditions. Hey, I just want to let you know, Wall Street Journal reported fractured closings are way up. These are closings that die at the closing table, probably because of financing. Just didn't know if you got your property sold yet. Hey, just wanted to chat with you before the spring. You know, it's hot here usually in the spring, and you're going to have a lot of competition coming on to see if we can go ahead and do something before then. Hey, just want to talk to you. I saw the rates went up. Didn't know if you got that property sold. So you're calling with different reasons every single time. All you're doing, it's like a Rubik's Cube, right? All you're doing is you're looking for ways to help. And if I could give you a mindset with this, and I'll wrap up with this, I would say go at your prospecting session every day. Go at your phone session every day that you are simply looking to help people. That's it. And then think, in your marketplace, if you were to fly over in a plane and you dropped a blanket down, do you think maybe perhaps someone under that blanket, someone in your market, needs help today, this week, this month on their property? They do. They need a guide. The market's still wonky. We've got interest rates doing weird things still. We've got an election coming. We've got the media helping us by screaming that the market's going to crash. That's good for us, but it makes the sellers and buyers crazy. But just have that mindset, guys. And then if you're in our community, you could take advantage of the call critiques. And if you're not in our community, the Wicked Smart community, you might want to think about applying. Because these things, this is like one little snippet, one little pimple on the overall scene of things that we can help you with. Now, I do have a link for you guys. We had a guest on the Wicked Smart Sit Down last week. His name is Nicholas Nick. And Nicholas has a special link for all our community. And they call hundreds of thousands of people, his team does. And they'll do some of that work for you and kind of open the door for you so you can get the warm and fuzzy, not the cold. Just go to smartrealestatecoach.com/lead mining pros and be sure to get to the next event, guys. You want to be at the QLS Live event coming up in September. That's QLSlive.com. If you see this video later, great. Go to the spring event, which is WickedSmartSummit.com. WickedSmartSummit.com. Guys, if you have not participated in the free Masters class yet, that's also a no-brainer if you can deal with listening to me for 55 minutes. It's on your own time. You can schedule it. Just go to smartrealestatecoach.com/Masters class.